So, to those who have module, please open your module on page 29, in which we have the one-dimensional, chapter 3, one-dimensional steady-state conduction. Okay, so let me share my screen with the module, and then later I'll be also joining with the tablet for me to use it for the derivation. So ito po yung ating module 3, one-dimensional steady-state conduction. So for our intended learning outcomes, we have the following. At the end of this module, the students are expected to solve the heat diffusion equation to obtain the temperature distribution through applying pertinent assumptions such as steady state, one-dimensional, no internal heat generation and constant properties for plane wall and spherical systems. Number 2 is to determine the thermal resistance equation for plane wall and spherical systems. And 3 is solve one-dimensional steady-state heat transfer problems. Okay, so the term one-dimensional refers to the fact that only one coordinate is needed to describe the spatial variation of the dependent variable. So as we had last time in our previous meeting, when we assume one-dimensional as one of the pertinent assumptions, when we say one-dimensional and we are talking of Cartesian coordinates, we are talking of one-dimensional in x direction. But if we are talking of the radial system, be it cylindrical or spherical, then we will be having the assumption that it is one-dimensional in the radial direction. So, a function of x and a function of r respectively. Hence, in one-dimensional system, the temperature gradients exist along only a single coordinate direction. And the heat transfer occur exclusively on that direction. Kaya meron po tayong Q along the x and Q along the r. The system is characterized by steady-state condition if the temperature at each point is independent of time. Despite their inherent simplicity, steady-state, one-dimensional models may be used to accurately represent numerous engineering systems. So let us now have this first one, which is the plane wall. So imagine that we have a plane wall. Yung ating pong plane wall na one surface is exposed to a hot fluid and the other surface is exposed to a cold fluid. Andyan po sa ating figure. And then yung ating pong schematic representation, we make use of temperature of fluid 1, temperature of fluid 2, with their corresponding convection heat transfer coefficients. And so as with your surface temperature, so yun pong ating surface exposed to the hot fluid and the surface exposed to the cold fluid. Saglit lang po ulit ha. Natawag lang po ulit ang register.
Nakarating ng Mindoro Station ng Quezon. Bagong kamar yan. Mindoro State.
Ano ko ito lalagay pala? Nakapag-umagad ako. Wait lang. Ang lamig kasi dito. Okay. Am I audible pa po? Magsalita nga po ang isa. Baka naman ang aking headset. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Sige. So, imagine this as our plain wall. Again, as I explained. So, kung ano yung nasa schematic representation, yan po yung ating gagamitin. Ha? Na nomenclature pag po tayo ay nag-apply ng conditions later. Okay po? So, temperature distribution. So, as I mentioned to you last Monday when we had a face-to-face meeting, pag sinabi po natin temperature distribution, it is the solution of our derived heat diffusion equation. Nag-derive tayo ng heat diffusion equation. At ito po yung original na na-derive po natin. Yung the partial derivative with respect to x of k times the temperature gradient along the x plus the partial derivative with respect to y of k times the temperature gradient along the y plus that of along the z plus q mole is equal to rho cp times the time rate of temperature change. So yan po yung ating na-derive. Now, the temperature distribution is actually the solution to this one. So, we have to consider or we have to apply yung ating core assumptions. Okay? So, mag-share po ako ng notes at doon ko po siya de-derive. Dito po tayo sa kabila. Okay, nakikita niyo na po yung sa notes?
Yes.
Okay, sige po. Okay, so again, mag-start po tayo dito sa ating heat diffusion equation na na-derive last time. Okay, but then we are to apply yung ating pertinent assumption. So, pag in-apply po natin yung ating number 1 po is steady state. So, yung ating steady state condition, number 2 po ay one-dimensional in x direction. And then number 3 po ay no internal heat generation. At number 4 tayo ay constant properties. Ano nga po ulit ang matitira sa ating equation? Pag po in-assume natin ito. Ano po matitira? Anyone po? Yes, Iko.
Ang matitira pa lang po ay dt squared t. Sorry po, may iwan po yung k d squared t over d x squared.
Ano raw, hindi ko naintindihan ang sinabi niya, medyo maagas-gas. But in short, it is the second derivative of t. Do not read it as d squared t over dx squared. That is the second derivative of the temperature with respect to x would be equal to 0. Because in that case, when we apply this 4, right side of the equation or stored energy would be 0. One-dimensional in X, wala po yung Y and Z. No internal heat generation, wala po yung Q mole. And then constant properties, ilabas po natin yung K. I-divide natin both sides of the equation by K. Okay? So sa inyo pong module, meron po ako yata dyang nilagay na starting point lang. Pero hindi ko na po diniretso because I want to show the derivation to you. No? Okay, so this can also be written as the derivative with respect to X of the temperature gradient along the X is equal to 0. So we solve this differential equation by separation of variable, and we try to integrate it twice. Okay? So multiplying both sides of the equation by dx, you will be having the derivative of the temperature gradient is equal to 0 times dx or 0. And then the first time that we integrate, so what is the integral of the derivative of something? It is equal to that something. Okay? So you have here the temperature gradient is equal to the integral of 0. The integral of 0 is C, diba? But then, since we are having the second order ordinary differential equation, the derivative or the integral of 0 would be the first constant of integration C1. Okay? And then again, by separation of variable, by multiplying both sides by dx, that would be dt is equal to C1 dx. Again, we multiply it by dx because we separated t from the variable x. And then we now have the second time of integration. Now, so yung C1, nilabas ko na po kasi constant na po siya. Okay? And then the integral would be equal to t would be equal to C1x plus another constant of integration C2. Okay po? And then after po noon, ano pong sunod natin? This is what you call, what type of solution is this po? Ano pong type ng solution? Anong tawag po natin sa solution na ito? Anyone po? Mr. Emmanuel, anong tawag sa solution na ito? Sa DE po, ano po ang tawag natin sa solution?
Specific po ba po?
Pag specific, wala pong arbitrary constant. May arbitrary constant po ito.
General po.
Yan. General solution. Ano? General solution po ang tawag natin dito. Now, but what we want is the temperature distribution as a function of x only. No? So, in order for us to know the specific or the particular solution, we try to apply some boundary conditions. And the boundary conditions can actually be taken from the figure that I showed you a while ago. Ano? So, pwede nyo pong tingnan dyan sa inyong module yung mga boundary condition na nandyan po. So, alin ba ang boundary na pinapag-usapan natin? No? So, we have to apply. So, applying boundary conditions. No? What are the two boundary conditions? Alin po ba ang boundary na pinapag-usapan natin dyan sa plane wall? That is, the first boundary condition is at x is equal to 0. And the second boundary condition is at x is equal to L. No? Or simply, yung temperature natin at x equals 0 at any time t, and the temperature at the other surface of the wall at any time t. Or simply, your t, the temperature at x is equal to 0 based on the figure is what po? Ano po ang temperature at x is equal to 0 from the schematic representation of the plane wall that I showed you a while ago? Ano pong nakalagay dyan sa inyo? T ano po?
TS1 po.
TS1. Thank you, Lan. So, TS1. And then, at x is equal to L po, ang Ti equal sa TS2. Okay po? So, these are the two boundary conditions. So, we have to apply those boundary conditions to this general equation. So, let us apply the first boundary condition. So, at x is equal to 0, T is equal to TS1. So, substitute po natin. TS1 is equal to C1 times 0 plus C2. Okay, so this is 0. Therefore, your C2 is equal to TS1. Okay, next po. Sorry, C2 is equal to TS1. Next po, applying the second boundary condition. Kung i-apply po natin yung second boundary condition, at x is equal to L, T is equal to TS2. So you have here TS2 is equal to C1 times L plus C2. But your C2 is equal to TS1. Okay? So TS2 is equal to C1 times L plus TS2. Therefore, what is our C1 from this? That is equal to, TS1. So that is equal to TS2 minus TS1 divided by L. That is the value of your C1. No? So meron po tayong value ng C2 equal sa TS1 at ito po yung ating C1. Therefore, kung isa-substitute po natin doon sa ating T, so therefore T is equal to C1x plus C2 would be equal to T is equal to quantity TS2 minus TS1 divided by L times x plus ang ating pong C2 ay TS1. Okay? So this is now your temperature distribution as a function of x. Ano, yun pong T of x na yun, it means that that is a temperature distribution as a function of x. Okay po? Ito na po yung ating temperature distribution. Meaning, doon po sa ating plane wall na pinakita kanina, okay, yun pong nandyan sa inyong graph, kung meron po tayong temperature distribution na yan, at any point po, this is 0, this is L, this is your X, and this is your temperature. At any point po, makukuha natin ang value ng temperature if we know the position or on the thickness of the wall X. Okay? So, ayun po yung ating derivation or solution ng heat diffusion equation considering the assumptions. So, later po, after po natin may assume na no internal heat generation, second part po ng ating module 3 would be there is an assumption now that there is internal heat generation. So, iba na po yung ating temperature distribution kasi may involved na po si human. Okay? Now, ano po ang after natin pag nakuha natin si temperature distribution? Once we know the temperature distribution, then we are going to make use of this one to find yung ating heat transfer rate. Ano? Sabi natin ano ba ang heat transfer rate? So the heat transfer rate for one-dimensional steady-state conduction in a plane wall with no internal heat generation and constant property or thermal conductivity, the temperature varies linearly with X. No? And therefore, we can make use of this temperature distribution together with the Fourier's law to determine the conduction rate equation. Okay, the conduction rate equation natin, sabi natin ay the heat rate along the X is equal to K or negative K times the area times the temperature gradient along the X. So if we have already this temperature distribution, what we need to find is the first derivative of this one. If this is your T of X, what is the first derivative or the temperature gradient? No? So, alin lang ang kukuhanan natin ng derivative? Yung first term lang kasi andoon si x. Okay? So, the temperature gradient is simply equal to Ts2 minus Ts1 divided by L. Okay, derivative of Ts1 with respect to x is 0 since that is constant. So this is now your temperature gradient and then we just put it here. Now, i-apply lang po natin doon sa ating heat rate. Therefore, your heat rate along the x is negative K times the area times Ts2 minus Ts1 divided by L. And simplifying, your heat rate would be K times the area times Ts1 minus Ts2 divided by L. No? Again, Ts1 is higher than Ts2 and therefore we will obtain a positive value of your heat rate. Eh ma'am, ganyan din naman po yung ating yung itinuro nyo ng chapter 1 ng module 1. Ba't po itinuturo nyo ulit? Yung itinuro natin ng module 1 is that we know the Fourier's law and we determine it doon sa ating schematic diagram. Kumbaga po ito ay general. Kasi what if ang ating pong temperature distribution ay hindi na linear, kagaya po later, kapag po tayo ay meron ng internal heat generation, no? Or naging curve na po yung ating temperature distribution natin. So, it's not as simple as Ts2 minus Ts1 divided by L, yung ating first derivative or yung ating temperature gradient. Okay? So, again po, itong ating nakuha is just a confirmation of the equation that we had previously. That by using the heat diffusion equation, solving it, and then using the Fourier's law statement, still the heat rate equation is just the same. Maaring nagkaiba lang kasi ang ginamit natin before ay T1 at saka T2. But then, yun po ay representation lang doon sa ating schematic diagram. Kasi dati, nung nag-drawing po ako sa inyo, ang ginamit ko po ay T1 at T2. So ngayon, may binigay sa ating figure na ang kanya pong notation para po sa kanyang surface temperature ay Ts1 at saka Ts2. Okay? So, it also follows na yung ating heat flux ay the heat rate po per unit area. So, same lang din po, i-drop natin yung area, then that would be your heat flux. So, the heat flux along the X would be equal to your K times your Ts1 minus Ts2 divided by the thickness. Okay po. Okay. Sige po. May question tayo tungkol dyan? May question po? Wala. Okay po. Sige, punta po tayo sa sunod na part. Ano po yung sunod na part after ng derivation? So, sa page 31, ang sunod po natin is yung thermal resistance. I mentioned to you last time during our face-to-face meeting that in analogy to electrical resistance, there is also thermal resistance. Okay? So taking the analogy between diffusion of heat and electrical charge, that is, an electrical resistance is associated with the conduction of electricity, the thermal resistance may be associated with conduction of heat. So resistance is defined as the ratio of the driving potential to the corresponding heat rate. So we will try to determine the thermal resistance of the three modes of heat transfer. Okay, from that definition. Again, it is the ratio. No, so the resistance is the ratio of the driving potential to that of the corresponding heat rate. Okay? Ano po ba ang driving potential natin in heat transfer? What is the driving potential? Paano po nagkakaroon ng heat transfer if there is
Change in temperature po.
temperature change, okay? Due to temperature change, so that is the driving potential. Now, so from that, if you look at this equation natin po ng heat rate, ito po yung ating equation ng heat rate. Now, so that is your heat rate, yung ating Qx. So the resistance due to conduction would be equal to your Ts1. That is the driving potential, Ts1 minus Ts2 divided by your Q along the X. So making it, ano po yung ating resistance due to conduction. So this is your Ts1 minus Ts2. This is your Qx. Therefore, it is simply equal to L over Ka. That is the resistance due to conduction. Okay, so later po, makikita natin kung ano ang importance ng paggamit na or paghanap ng resistances. Now, punta po tayo sa heat transfer due to convection. So this is our Q convection is equal to H times A times Ts minus the temperature of the fluid. If we are going to follow the formula of resistance, the resistance due to convection is equal to the driving potential. Our driving potential is the temperature difference divided by the corresponding heat rate Q convection. So simply, that is equal to 1 over HQ. Okay? And then going to radiation, we simplify our Q radiation by defining yung ating radiation heat transfer coefficient, which is equal to emissivity, Stefan Boltzmann constant, times the product of Ts squared plus Tsur squared times Ts plus Tsur. No? So, yun po yung ating radiation heat transfer coefficient. And therefore, from that, we obtain po yung ating equation na H sub R times the area times Ts minus Tsur. And therefore, our resistance due to radiation would be equal to Ts minus Tsur divided by our Q radiation. And following that, your Q radiation is equal to 1 over HRA. Okay? Now, since it is in analogy with electrical resistance, the manner in which you are going to determine the total resistance, if they are connected in series, then you need to take the sum. If they are connected in parallel, then you need to take 1 over R total is equal to 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3 plus up to kung ilan mga resistances yun. Okay? So, ayun po. Any question po with that determination of the formula for the thermal resistances? May tanong po? Clear po ba yung ating formula ng resistances? Any reaction po para makita po kung clear po sa inyo? Okay. Sige, thank you po sa mga nag-react. Now, next to that would be circuit representations provide a useful tool for both conceptualizing and quantifying heat transfer problem. The equivalent thermal circuit for the plane wall with convection surface condition is shown already in your page, ano ba ito? 33 or 34? Page 31 pala, sorry. No? Nakalagay na po dyan sa inyong module. Pero, let me show you kung paano ba natin siya ginawa at paano natin siya gagawin kung meron tayong schematic diagram na meron po tayong plane wall. Ito po yung nandoon sa taas. Kung meron po tayong plane wall, sabi po natin ay ang surface na ito ay exposed sa hot fluid. na meron pong temperature of fluid 1 and H1. Okay? And then, ito pong other side ay exposed sa cold fluid. No? Na meron pong temperature of fluid 2 at saka po H2. Okay? Meron po tayong TS1 at meron po tayong TS2. At ito po yung ating heat rate or heat flux along the X direction. Or kung heat rate man po since given yung area. Okay? So para po hindi tayo malito at hindi po natin maiwanan yung ibang temperature points, it is better na pag nagawa po tayo ng equivalent thermal circuit, itapat po natin doon sa mga temperature points. Ibig sabihin, this point is say your temperature of fluid 1, this one, and this one. No? So lalagyan po natin temperature of fluid 1, this is TS1, this is your TS2, and this is the temperature of fluid 2. Okay? Now, in between the temperature nodes, there is or there are sometimes, depende sa kung ano yung sinabi sa atin sa problem. There would be the equivalent thermal resistance. Okay, so aalamin mo lang, ano ba ang meron between ang temperature ng fluid at saka TS1. So a surface and a fluid, there is convection. So therefore, the resistance here would be equal to 1 over H1A. Okay? Next po, between TS1 and TS2, we are talking of the thickness of the wall with the different temperature at the surface. So this is due to conduction. So kung meron pong conduction, this is L over KA. And then next po would be yung TS2 at saka yung fluid. So since meron pong surface tsaka meron pong fluid, ang atin pong resistance ay 1 over H2A. Ano? So ayan po yung ating equivalent thermal circuit. Again po, pag po ako ay nag-check ang part na ito ng discussion ng heat transfer, sa inyo pong mga exam, problem set, or any mode of assessment, pag pumali ang schematic diagram, natural, hindi ka makakuha ng tamang thermal circuit. And so as with your analysis. Okay. So ano po ang importance kung bakit po natin ginagawa yung thermal circuit? Kasi from the thermal circuit, we can derive several formula that we may use in the analysis. Ano-ano po yung mga formula na pwede natin i-derive? So your Qx is constant along this thermal circuit. Okay? So ibig sabihin, equal po siya kapag kinuha po natin yung temperature ng fluid 1 minus TS1 divided by its corresponding resistance na involved po sa kanya. Equal din po siya sa temperature of TS1 minus your TS2 divided by, so kung ito lang kung dalawang ito, ang involved lang po sa kanya ay itong L over KA. No? Equal din po siya sa TS2 minus the temperature of the fluid 2 divided by, since ito lang po yung involved, ay di 1 over H2A. Okay? Equal din po siya kung halimbawa ang kuhanin natin ay between po ng temperature ay halimbawa po ay gusto natin ay between lang po ng temperature ng fluid 1 at saka TS2. Pag po ganon, temperature of fluid 1 minus TS2, titingnan nyo po ano po yung mga involved sa kanila na resistances. E di ito po, no, at saka po ito. So ang mangyari po sa atin is we take the sum since they are connected in series. So the resistance in between would be 1 over H1A plus L over Ka. Okay? Or pwede pong temperature ng fluid 1 minus yung ating temperature of fluid 2. No? So, pwede po yung dulo-dulo. Temperature of fluid 1 minus temperature of fluid 2. In that case, lahat po ng resistances ay involved. So, that would be 1 over H1A plus L over Ka plus 1 over H2A. Or simply, yun po yung summation of the total resistances. So, that is the temperature of fluid 1 minus temperature of fluid 2 divided by total resistance. No? So, ayan po. Ano? So, out of your thermal circuit, you can create several equations. Siyempre, pag naggawa ka ng equations, doon ka, yun ang gagamitin mo is yung merong known value. Kasi kung ang gagamitin mo ay unknown, you are just creating another equation and adding more to the unknown. What you have to use is an equation in which you can find an unknown in order for us to remove or eliminate na yung isang unknown na yun. Hindi po yung dadagdag pa. Kaya pag pumili po tayo ng equation na gagawin, yun kung meron tayong makukuhang value. Okay po? Ma'am, paano po ang pagkuha ng total resistance? Lagi po ba siyang nakaseries? Hindi po. Depende po sa condition or situation. Halimbawa po, meron po tayong resistance due to convection at saka resistance due to conduction. To radiation. Kung pareho po ang temperature ng fluid at saka temperature ng surface ng surroundings, iisa naman po ang surface na pinag-uusapan natin, then you have to put it in parallel. Okay? And again, remember, kapag po kayo ay naka-series, no? So ang atin pong R2, we just take the sum. Diba? Summation. Pero kapag po kayo ay naka-parallel connection, your 1 over R total would be equal to 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3 plus up to 1 over R7. Okay? Ayan po. Question po with that? For the plain wall? Yes, Iko.
Ma'am, question lang po about po sa plain wall kapag basta
Bakit ka hindi nag-submit ng 150 days?
diagram po.
Buto hindi ko marinig na ayos.
Iba po ba yung diagram po kapag parallel po and kapag series po?
Magkaiba na yung ating thermal circuit. So kung siya po ay naka-parallel, ay di gawin po natin naka-parallel yung circuit. Ano? Kung halimbawa po ay naka-parallel siya, hindi ganun po. Ano? Halimbawa po ay temperature ng fluid which is also equal to the temperature of the surroundings. At kung ano po ay temperature ng, say, surface. Okay? So, ganun po. Ito po yung sa 1 over HA at ito po ay 1 over HRA. Ha? May ano po? Yes, nako na ba? Wait lang po. Okay? So, ganun po. Anak. So, depende po sa ating situation kung ano yung sinasabi sa atin sa problem. Na? Okay. May tanong pa po sa plain wall. Punta tayo sa sunod po yung ating composite wall. Okay? So, ano ba pag sinabing composite wall? Ay, i-share ko po naman po pala yung isa ulit. Ayan. Na? Ayan po nasa ating pong slide. Nasa inyong screen. Yung ating pong equivalent thermal circuit for a composite wall. So, pag sinabi po natin composite wall, it is made of several plane wall. Kaya po niyang nasa figure natin, meron po tayong tatlo. Same thing lang po, same situation kanina. Ang pinagkaiba lang po ay naging composite wall instead ng plain wall. Okay, so as you see, meron po tayong hot fluid temperature here and convection heat transfer coefficient. Then we have po yung ating cold fluid on the other surface. And then meron tayong tatlong material. And you see the line here represents the temperature distribution in each. Okay? So, take note na ang ating pong thickness or yung ating value ng L, not necessarily po na pare-pareho lang yung kanyang thickness. No? Representation lang po yan. So, possible po na sila ay magkakaiba at magkakaiba din pong material. And we have po different properties. Okay? Imaginein po natin yung yung ating wall na nandito sa campus. Diba, yung ating wall na yon, it is made of concrete. Tapos dinikitan po natin ng bricks, no? And then meron po tayong pinangdikit doon in between nung ating wall at saka po nung outer bricks. So parang ganyan po yung hitsura. So yung A po natin, yun po yung ating bricks kasi naka-expose siya sa labas. And then yung ating pong B, say yung ating adjoining material, maaring cement or kung ano man pong ginamit doon na pangdikit para po doon sa ating concrete wall and the bricks. And yun pong ating material C is say yung ating pong concrete. Okay, yan po yung ating example. Na? So, yan. So, pag ginawan po natin ng thermal circuit, ibinigay na po dyan sa atin, andyan po, kagaya din po ng ginawa ko kanina doon sa ating plain wall. Lagyan po muna natin lahat ng temperature nodes, no? Para hindi po natin, or wala po tayong makaligtaan. Okay, then, in between po ng dalawang nodes, you need to identify ano bang mode ng heat transfer meron. Kasi that will identify kung ano po yung resistance na gagamitin po natin. Ano? So, you have po yung ating in between, the temperature ng fluid 1 in PS1 is 1 over H1A. Ang tatlo pong sunod natin is due to thermal conductivity of the three different materials. LA over KA. Lalagyan niyo po ng subscript, no? Para po hindi kayo malito kasi nga iba't ibang material po yan. Pwede pong kagaya niyan LA over KAA or kung gusto niyo pong naka-parenthesis L over K tapos nasa labas po yung A times po ng ating 1 over area. Okay? Basta po wag kakalimutan yung subscript kasi pag magkakaiba yan, mahirap pong hanapin kanino nga ba ito. Kay A, B, C, or baka mas marami pang material yung gamitin natin. Para hindi po tayo malito pagka nasa analysis na. Ano? Okay po. Sige po, punta po tayo sa equivalent thermal, sa atin pong sunod na equation na nandyan. Again po, out of this thermal circuit, you can form several equations referring to the heat rate because we say that the heat rate along this thermal circuit is constant. So kung alin po ang may available na data, doon po tayo magsimula ng analysis. Hindi po yung may unknown, padadagdagan pa po ulit ng isa pang unknown, etc. So try to use an equation in which you can find the unknown rather than you are adding unknown in your analysis. Okay? So yan po yung ating overall equation po natin, yung para sa use po ng total resistance. So we are talking of the first temperature point and the last temperature point divided by the total resistances. So the total resistances involve the resistance due to convection and the resistance due to conduction for the three materials. Okay po? Yan. Yan po yung ating equation para sa heat rate using the total resistance. Again, and ito po yung mga iba't ibang equation na pwede po natin ma-form. Kung meron po akong nakaligtaan na pwede pang gamitin, pwede rin pong in between ng dalawa lang or tatlo or apat lang. It's up to you. Kung alin po yung meron natin pwedeng makunan ng unknown. So pwedeng ari lang pong first 2 or yung first 3 or pwedeng yung second hanggang 4th, etc. Now, so ayan po. Now, with the composite wall, it is often convenient to work with the overall heat transfer coefficient U instead of ating individual po na H. Okay? So, which is defined as an expression analogous to Newton's law of cooling. So, you have here, accordingly, yung ating pong heat rate would be equal to the overall heat transfer coefficient U times the area times the temperature difference. Now, kagaya rin lang po siya ng ating H times the area times the temperature difference. But this time, we are using the overall heat transfer coefficient because we are talking of composite wall. And from that, looking at the equivalent ng ating total resistance, your product of U times area is simply equal to 1 over total resistance. Or simply, your overall heat transfer coefficient is 1 over R total times the area. Now, so ayun po, pwede po natin gamitin ito. Hanapin po natin yung overall heat transfer coefficient, in which the overall heat transfer coefficient is just 1 over R total times the area. Or pwedeng ito po yung gamitin natin, UA is 1 over R total. Now, depende po sa kung heat rate, edi may area, kung heat flux naman po, edi wala. Okay? So, ayun po. Kung halimbawa naman po sa problem, hinahanap is yung total resistance, and then given po halimbawa is yung ating heat rate, edi you just make use of the formula. Yung U times A times delta T is equivalent to our heat rate. Okay, next figure po showing is the next figure of different assumption. So depende po sa kung ano yung magiging assumption natin. Imagine po natin itong ating figure na nandito. Meron po tayong composite wall. Ang structure po niya, there is material E here. So both po are insulated. Material E po, tapos yung nasa middle po natin ay dinivide po natin yung upper layer at saka yung lower layer into material F and material G, and the other material po is material H. So what you see here are two different thermal circuit equivalent. In which, bakit po magkaiba? What you see in A is that, sabi po dito ay, it is assumed that the surfaces normal to the X direction are isothermal. Constant temperature. And the other case B po is that it is assumed that the surfaces normal to the X direction are adiabatic. So if we have the assumption of isothermal, Yun pong ating middle materials. They are connected in parallel. No? So, after po natin na makuha yung dalawang parallel, we series it to this material E and material H. While when the assumption is adiabatic, so ibig sabihin, parang nahati po dito sa dalawa yung ating materials. The reason why we have half of the material, no? They are in series with each other, and the other half series din po siya, and they are connected in parallel, no? Para po dito sa ating figure. Now, I will leave this figure to you and try to determine the total resistance just for a practice, because baka nalimutan nyo na po kung paano nang kumuha ng total resistance ng mga circuit. Siguro naman po ay hindi na tayo darating sa masyadong complex ang thermal circuit equivalent. Simpleng series parallel connection lang po tayo. No? So I will leave this to you and try to determine the total resistance for case A and the total resistance for case B. Just for practice of determining the total resistance. Okay? So ang sunod po natin ay example na. Mabibitin po tayo dito, but then I will try to start with the problem and then try to continue solving it. Ano? So ito pong ating problem is about a wall of a building which is composite, consisting of the three of different materials. 100 millimeter layer of ano yun? Putol lang po dito. Kontiin ko lang ng konti. Common brick, 100 millimeter layer of glass fiber with specification nito. 10 millimeter layer of gypsum plaster or vermiculite, and 6 millimeter layer of pine panel. So, apat pong material. Ano? If the inside convection coefficient is 10 watts per square meter and the outside convection is 70, what are the total resistance and the overall heat transfer coefficient? Okay? So, this is just an application itong ating figure kanina na composite wall. Ito po. Kaya lang naging apat po yung ating material. Okay? So, makikitry nyo pong isolve. Ito pong problem natin ito. Una po, ito muna ha. Ito muna ang inyong itry. And then, ito pong isang problem ay di atin pong i-continue kung alin po yung ating matapos. Okay? So, kasi hahanapin nyo pa po yung thermal conductivity niyan sa table. So, known po in the problem is a composite wall of 4 different materials of prescribed thickness. Then we have also yung atin pong convection heat transfer coefficient on both sides ng atin pong composite wall. So we are asked to find the total resistance, and letter B, total resistance po ay the R total, and our overall heat transfer coefficient is U. So sunod po ang part natin would be yung schematic. I-drawingan po natin. Ano? Depende po sa thickness. Baka naman po ay 100 mm. Sa inyo pong drawing ay mas malaki pa doon mas malaki pa yung 10 mm. So somehow po, kahit hindi siya drawn to scale, ay di inyo pong tingnan yung kanyang dimension or given thickness. Okay po? Then after that, na ma-drawing ko, mailagay nyo pong lahat yung information, then try to find the properties. Lalagay nyo po yung properties. Ang kailangan nyo po dito ay thermal conductivity. So after po noon, saka po natin ilagay nyo na rin po doon sa inyong schematic diagram, din pong ating thermal circuit. Okay? Although wala pong binigay sa ating mga temperature, since siya po ay naka-layer of material, meron po tayong composite wall. So, you can just find po yung total resistance and the overall heat transfer coefficient using yung formula. Ano? So, sige po, ay dahil ito po hahanapin nyo pa sa table yung properties, you may make use of the remaining time po to continue with this, and we will discuss. I will ask somebody to give yung kanyang solution or final answer para sa convection heat transfer coefficient and the total resistance next meeting po. For our next meeting also, we will continue with the topic of contact resistance, followed by yung atin pong so magkaroon po ulit tayo ng example problem, and then we now proceed with alternative conduction analysis. Ito po ay what if hindi po constant yung area, and what if ang thermal conductivity po ay function ng temperature. Then to be followed by yung discussion po natin ng radial system, and after that po would be yun pong case na meron naman pong thermal energy generation. No? So, de-derivein po natin ulit, kagaya po nung ginawa natin kanina, but this time, ito na po yung ating formula. Yan. Meron na pong Q mole over K. So, iba na po ulit yung ating temperature distribution along the X direction. Okay, so hopefully matapos po natin ito until next week so that we can have on week 6 magku-quiz po muna tayo, and then we continue with module 4. Okay? Any question po or clarifications? Yes, Iko.
Ma'am, question lang po. Kung wala pong sinabi ng specific po na respectively po yung pagkaka-composite po ng wall, ilalagay po ba namin sa assumption na yun po yung pagkakasunod-sunod po ng material sa wall? Oo, ganon. Kung wala siyang specific, or sometimes kahit po walang specific, since you are engineering students at pag sinabi natin halimbawa ay a wall according to say Philippine standards, kung ano yung kanyang structure. Kung kayo ay dumaan na sa air conditioning, nakapag-aircon na ba kayo? Hindi pa, Hindi pa. Or yung simpleng wall natin sa nakikita natin, kasi doon merong specific na layering. Kung wala, then you have to assume kung paano mo siya pagsusunod-sunodin. No? Halimbawa ay merong glass component. Di mo naman siya isa-sandwich, di ba? Between sa concrete at saka sa bricks. No? So, yun po yung dapat ay meron. Titingnan mo rin kung ano-ano ba yung material. Okay? Okay, so depende rin po yun sa ating application. Okay, so there are 79 students who attended. I hope yung mga hindi naka-attend, sinabihan ko naman kayo yung section 3, na sinasabi nyo naman, wala rin kayong klase. Hindi ko na po ito uulitin sa class kasi sayang po yung ating 1.5 hours. I tried to connect using my mobile data, but then also the mobile data during that time, hindi po talaga makabukas ng kahit man lang yung ating mag-join man lang ako doon sa Meet. Kaya po I decided not to have that asynchronous yung ating class nung Tuesday. Okay po? Sige po. So kung wala na pong question, yung makakapag-open po ng camera, dapat po laging ino-open natin ang ating camera. At tanggalin ko lang po ang kulubong. Sobra lang po talagang lamig. Kaya okay po, at the count of 3, in 1, 2, and 3. Okay po. Sige. So with that, ay di paki-continue, and then
We will have the next topic for next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you po.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.